I'm reclaiming my creativity and I'm going to do it in many different ways, but in this video in particular, I am going to finally use the artist way.
This voiceover Catherine is Catherine who has already completed day 1 of the 12-week course. However, the Catherine you will see in the video very, very soon hasn't done that yet. But I just wanted to give a few points before going into it, just in case people are interested in the artist way and have maybe a few questions. So just off the bat, who is this book for? This book is basically for anybody who wants to be more creative, more creatively rounded, whether art is your career, your hobby, or just a thought you have, whether you don't do anything creative in your daily job, but there's a little inkling there potentially that you might want to become a potter or a singer or just anything, or maybe you're not even at that point yet, you don't know that that's what you potentially want. The tools in this book, as I'm aware, they can be related to anybody no matter what you do. I think you can take and tweak things to fit you and your current state. In saying that, it's very much, I believe, take what serves you and leave the rest. There's a lot of tasks in this book, and having a quick flick through, I'm already very intimidated by some of them. I think to be able to complete this course successfully, I need to just take a step back and not go so full into everything and feel like I have to complete everything. She does say that there's some weeks that you might not resonate with any of the tasks, but you might be able to come back to them at a later date. And she also does say that we do resist what we need the most. So those tasks that may seem the hardest could potentially be the ones that you actually really need without even knowing. So don't be hard on yourself to try and complete everything. If you can't fit it into a 12 weeks course, that's absolutely fine. Just do it as and when it suits you. The other big overarching thing with this book is it is in a way a spiritual guidance book. So the word God is mentioned quite a lot. And I personally, I'm okay with that. I'm on my own sort of, and I have been for many, many years, my own sort of spiritual journey and all that sort of stuff. If you are someone that is not, and you may find it uncomfortable, just change the word for universe or inner artist self. Don't let the semantics of words on a page stop you from immersing yourself in this course. So that's also something she does mention in the book. She gives you different options and just tells you not to immerse yourself in those semantics. Just, if you need to use a word, use a word. It's just a shorthand, just to help you navigate the book. So that's just a few thoughts that have come up already, and we will get back into the current video.
So all I've done is read the preface, and I just want to give my first initial thoughts on the artist way. So going into it, I didn't really know much about it. I knew it was more of a workbook and a toolkit, and I knew things like morning pages and artist dates came from this. And that's just from watching creatives online who have gone through the book and done that. I also knew that with it being a course, you have to dedicate to it. So we will see how that goes. But what I'm already realizing is she said a few things in here already, and I can already resonate with it. Something that was at the end of the preface that I just read. She said, "It reinforces my belief that we are all creative and have a hunger for further creativity." And I remember quite a while ago when I used to have a different website and I would write blogs. Mostly it was fashion blogs, but one time I wrote a blog about creativity, and I put a poll on my Instagram back then asking if people felt like they were creative, and it was like a yes no poll. And what I was trying to get across to people as like, when it comes to creativity, we're not talking about you're really amazing at fine art. Creativity is in so many different things. Creativity is problem solving. So even putting an outfit together in the morning, you are creatively putting together an outfit that you feel comfortable in, happy in, that you like. That's creativity. And creativity can be baking, planning a trip. Creativity isn't just in the sense of an art form, and it's not in the sense of fine art or nature photography or architecture. Creativity can be anything. So I really feel like I'm already resonating with this book. And another thing she said is the sentence is always the same. Your book changed my life. No, I often reply, you changed your life. You used the tools I laid out for you. Now, if you're aware of my journey with the Creative Rebels podcast, I literally put up a video saying about how it changed my life. Because in a way it did. Like, in my mind, I listened to a podcast. It gave me the encouragement to eventually leave a job, but before that, start building up my excitement about doing something creative. And every time I listened to it, I was so motivated. And I remember all the time they would say on there, people tell us all the time that we changed their life. We didn't change your life. We gave you the tools to change your own life. And it's very true. It's very easy, very, very easy to see a tool, not as a tool, but as the thing that's changed your life. whereas actually it's just a tool. Let me tell you, I've been seeing this book for a little while now on YouTube, and I always said to myself, I'm never going to go out and buy it new. I'm going to wait until it finds me. And I'm currently at a time where I'm trying to reclaim my creativity. And with the video I put out, how I need to make changes for Cat's Corner, I'm worried about it, part-time job, all of that. The fact that I found this in a charity shop only a few weeks ago, in a charity shop, in a local charity shop, mind you, and I didn't even go in this time looking for books, I was looking for something else. It's just kind of crazy, and it just goes to show that divine timing is a thing, and if you look for it, there's signs everywhere. So I said to him, I think this is my time to actually try and reclaim my creativity. I'm going to do the book and hopefully reclaim my creativity. And he said to me, Catherine, just remember this is a book, and the only thing that can change you is you. This is just a tool. And he said that, bear in mind, he doesn't know what this book about, but he said that to me. He said, this is just a book. I'm the artist. I have my destiny in my hands, basically, like of my creativity. I think it's exciting. I do hope I can keep going with it. I just wanted to give my first initial thoughts literally on the first few pages. My first thoughts on The Artist's Way.
I'm just going to read this bit to you. It says, "Why do I get my best ideas in the shower?" An exasperated Einstein is said to have remarked. Brain research now tells us that this is because showering is an artist's brain activity. Showering, swimming, scrubbing, shaving, steering a car, so many S-like yes words. All of these are regular, repetitive activities that may tip us over from our logic brain into our more creative, artistic brain. Solutions to sticky creative problems may bubble up through the dishwasher, emerge on the freeway just as we're executing a tricky merge. Learn which of these works best for you and use it. Steven Spielberg claims that his very best ideas have come to him as he was driving the freeway. This is no accident. Negotiating the flow of traffic, he was an artist immersed in an oncoming, ever-altering flow of images. Images trigger the artist's brain, images fill the well. Our focused attention is critical to filling the well. We need to encounter our life experiences, not ignore them. Many of us read compulsively to screen our awareness. On a crowded, interesting train, we train our attention on a newspaper, losing the sights and sounds all around us, all images for the well. So it sort of is a really good example of how when you're doing your everyday activities, sometimes you just want to immerse yourself in the activity. Don't listen to anything whilst you're doing it. Don't read a book. Don't, no music, no communication. Just immerse yourself in that activity, because the repetitive of it, I assume it puts you in like a sort of a calm state in a way, and then your brain is able to just work and give you all these ideas. Because I know I found great ideas coming from doing the most simplest of tasks, and that pretty much explains that really well. And obviously a little bit about artist block. Artist block is a very literal expression. Blocks must be acknowledged and dislodged. Filling the well is the surest way to do this. Art is the imagination at play in the field of time. Let yourself play. This chapter was just about going on artist dates, and that's the concept of taking yourself and your artistic self on a date without anyone else. So, and doing something creative, playful, and just seeing what crops up as you're doing it. If you find that you're taking yourself out on these trips and you're feeling too, almost like you're doing something that's too adult, too boring, maybe you need to do something a little bit more playful and go on a bit more of a playful, like childish sort of date and see what comes up from that. But just being with yourself and being with your creativity in a creative atmosphere, even if it's just going to the movies on your own, it just helps spark and keep things going. And it also brings a lot of self-confidence as well, which is a big thing. So I wrote out the contract that you have to do at the start of the course, but I didn't sign and date it and start the course until the following Monday, so it was easier for me to track my weeks. So when I do the course going forward, I know I'm doing Monday to Sunday as a week. At this point, I was already on day 2 of the Artist's Way, and I decided to take myself on the artist date because it seemed the best day where the weather was going to be alright. So basically I just packed up my bag. My plan was just to take my camera, go on a walk, and just take photos of nature. As I started my walk, I thought I could turn this into a colour walk, and because I put on my orange trainers and I found orange sunglasses in my bag, I decided my colour would be orange. So in a little bit I'm going to show you all the photos that I took on my walk. Going for a walk in nature, especially with my camera, there's something about it that just feels very right for me. It's something I enjoy doing. I don't mind doing it on my own. I find just great joy in taking photos of things in nature, especially this time of the year. It's just such a beautiful time to go out and take photos of what is around, because we're getting into that time of year where there's not much around. Whilst I was out, I also made an effort to say good morning to everybody I passed. Always quite a few people out in the mornings, and it feels good, and I hope that the people go away feeling good as well from having a good morning said to them. With the things like the artist dates and the morning pages, it's already something I'm quite used to. I'm very used to journaling. I'm very used to taking myself out places, to the coffee shops or on walks, and I feel like it's just going to get me into a good routine and just get out more, which I know I definitely need. And with the morning pages being like journaling, it's also a really good way just to get all thoughts out on paper before the day starts, and then you can sort of tackle your day with a clearer head. I know going forward, the one thing that I might struggle with is some of the tasks, because some of them, they really do get you to delve deep into your past, and I think it's one of those things that you suppress a lot of thoughts, and it's not until you have to sit down, think of certain questions, that's all these other things bubble up, and you then are able to realise why things might be the way they are, because of things that have been in the past that your subconscious or your mind has just sort of hidden from you. So I can see the benefits, I just know it's going to be a tough one to do. One of the tasks in week 1 is called Imaginary Lives, and it says if you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? You then write down 5 lives and you pick one and you do something relating to that. So it says not to overthink it, but I definitely did overthink it. It's not like these have to be completely set in stone and something you've always wanted to do. So I put down florist, and then I went to get some flowers and did some flower arranging. It's a really nice way to add bits and pieces of different lives into your own life, and things that you probably wouldn't even think of doing or be able to relate to your life. So you could pick something like scuba diver and then find a way of relating that to your everyday life. I think it's a really beautiful task, and I hope we do a bit more of it going forward as well. I'm not sure how much of the Artist Way journey I'm going to actually document, but I might come in with bits and pieces and updates here and there depending what it brings up for me. So I hope you enjoy this part of my journey as well.